What it is, y'all, it's your old boy Pilk, and I'm coming back with more Danmachi. Now, you guys have been asking about the new banners incoming tonight, and we've got a lot to discuss here. Now, as I always say, we're in the backside of the anniversary, and this is a good time to really become, I guess, aware of your surroundings as far as iris savings go. We are likely to get some really good units coming out of the anime. We are likely to get some really good units coming down the pike. Usually these banners are really tempting, but not long-lasting. So let's jump in, let's talk about it, okay? So first of all, there are two banners incoming. The prototype banner and the latest model. Now, I have strong opinions about this. Very strong opinions about this. Let's just really get into it and kick this off, okay? Supply Princess Eyes. And we talked about her a little bit yesterday. 4550 HP, 2046 magic with Stellar. 1228 agility, which is really, really, really good. 952 dex and 550 endurance could be better. She's going to be slightly on the squishy side. But what does she do? Well, first things first. Her skill 1 is, and I got to make sure I read these right because I messed them up yesterday. Skill 1 for Eyes is a 238 MP cost. That is a really, really, really expensive skill. It's Allies, Fast, 2 physical nullifications, and Self, Magic and Agility plus 70% for 4 turns. 4 additional actions, Foes plural mid-earth magic attack, with Self, Earth attack damage plus 70%. So she's an addition to the Earth team, and she looks like she's really good. Now, she is magic, and everyone else on the Earth team is physical, so do bear that in mind, or at least on the units we got from the anniversary. Also, that skill's going to be hard to come by more than once. So, longer events? Nah. But things like Wargame, EX missions where you only have like 7 turns, things like that, she'll be pretty good at. Now, skill 2 is a 79 MP cost. Fast, super Earth, just said that, magic attack with ultra and guard rate, magic resistance, and earth resistance down 35% for 3 turns. That's good, that's 2 skills down 35%. Remove guard rate and heal rate buffs, so she gets rid of heal rate buffs. That makes her really good for a war game. In fairness, we've gotten a lot of units in the past 3 months that have been really good for a war game. But getting rid of that heal rate buff could be a huge, huge, huge thing. Skill 3 is a 46 MP cost. Super Earth Magic Attack with Ultra and Guard Rate. Skill damage 80% per self magic buff skill. Remember, you're going to buff magic on both the Adventure and the Sith side, so that is a really good, strong single target skill. So she's AoE and single target. That's really awesome. Her SA is an Ultra Earth Magic Attack with Ultra on Guard Rate. Skill damage 90% per magic buff skill, and removes all status buffs. Will also inflict charm, but only for 1 turn. That's really all you need that for, though. I like her. I actually do like her. Her ailment's pretty interesting. You don't deal with charm much. There's not a lot of charm blockers or breakers in the game. If she's able to get that SA off early in Wargame, you're going to be murdering folk. That single target skill is going to be really good if she gets taunted. So she's like got anti-taunt, she's got charm, she's got a lot going for her. And the physical nullification is really nice considering most units we just got are physical. Here's the thing. I always say units lose points when they are specifically for Wargame. She is built almost exclusively for Wargame, though she will have some few uses outside of that. So I do think she's pretty good. 45% thunder resistance, counters our earth magic attack, 35% magic agility and dex, 30% damage on critical, 8% HP and MP heal per turn. So she's got MP healing, which is nice. And she's a material killer. So, not a material girl. So, I like Eyes. But let's see if there's better out there, shall we? So, next up we get Lefiya. 1000 supply Lefiya. 4482 HP, a little lower on the HP side. And notice that her endurance is only 556. We've seen much higher endurance scores and much higher HP scores. She is going to squish. But, hear me out. 272 for her magic stat is really good. 1143 for her agility stat is respectable. It's not going to keep up with a lot of the new units, but it's respectable. 1005 for dex is very good, actually. Her dex stat is fantastic. But what does she do? Okay, skill 1 for Lefiya is going to be a 70 MP cost itself. Magic and earth attack damage 70% for 3 turns. 3 additional actions. Foe singular, mid-earth magic attack, and removes strength and magic resistance buffs. Those magic resistance buffs are an interesting choice there. Which makes her a little bit more deadly. Skill 2 is a 96 MP cost. Foe singular high earth magic attack with temporary magic boost. Magic resistance down 40%, which is really nice. We have all these units that are doing 40% physical resistance. Now we finally have magic resistance down, which is very nice. It makes her a very good asset. Allies extend status buffs by 2 turns, which is once again a very, very nice thing. And 10% MP heal. Skill 3 is a foe singular, and that's worth noting. She is a record buster unit, so foe singular on all those. Which does limit her uses, I will admit. I do like skill 2, but it is worth noting that skill 2 is a singular foe skill. It is not an AoE skill. So when that magic resistance goes down, it's only on whoever she targets. So that does begin to actually take some wind out of her sails. Unfortunately, I really wanted to like this unit, but that being single target does kind of kill the hype a little bit. Her skill 3 is a foe singular super earth magic attack with ultra penetration rate, skill damage 90% per self magic buff, and foe singular, single target damage taken plus 30%. So great for Wrecker Buster, but specifically for Wrecker Buster. Kind of garbage outside of that. SA is foe singular ultra earth magic attack with temporary great magic boost, earth resistance down 60% for 2 turns, self earth attack damage plus 120%, and I hate that that's a self buff. I hate it. I really wish that was all allies. That'd be a great huge buff to throw in this unit and then make her enticing. Suddenly she would become kind of like that Earth Lazar that dropped at the beginning of the anniversary, where his buff is all allies, and that makes him an insane asset. Her buff being single target makes her kind of not great. 4 additional actions: foe singular or high earth magic attack. It is a high skill, and remove strength, magic, and magic resistance buffs. So it's a combination of skill 3 and skill 1. I don't know, guys. She doesn't really do enough AoE to really make her worth sacking or anything. So unless you're gonna main Wrecker Buster, she's kind of a wash too. I did like her, but noting that the magic resistance down 40% is single target really just kind of that kind of devalues her right away. Haruhime, secondary Fox Haruhime. 1346 HP. She is an assist, guys. 1346 HP. It's not something that was like, what? Oh, that's right. She's an assist. 445 for magic stat, and 512 for her endurance stat. So she's really built to help basically solidify a lot of these magic units we're getting. What does she do, though? At full max limit break, she does foes plural strength and magic down 25%, which is actually a really good skill. 3 instant effects when receiving a physical attack. Allies 40% HP heal. Removes physical resistance debuffs. Can happen once per turn. I like that skill. Basically, what she is she's a power creep on the Fiesta Hestia with a few more effects. She's really, really good. The 40% HP heal on top of the debuff, though, makes her an insane asset. I really like this unit. I think this unit is really, really, really awesome. The downside is you've really got to hit the banner pretty hard if you're going to get her. And she's on the secondary banner? Yeah. With Lefiya, who I think is fairly worthless. Sorry, Lefiya, but you am. So let's talk about Mikoto real quick. Okay. Mikoto is a 4578 HP with 718 endurance, 997 dex, 1184 agility, and 2023 magic. But what does she do? Okay. Skill 1 is a 77 MP cost. Allies slow. So it's a slow attack. It's not a slow or not slow. Yeah, it's a slow attack. So it's gonna be like the last attack that gets off. But she does agility plus 35% for all allies. Attack damage plus 60% for all allies. Both those for 4 turns. Self, single target damage taken down 60%. So she turns herself into a tank. 4 turns. 3 additional actions. Foes plural mid-earth magic attack with 20% HP steal and 60% taunt. So what turn 1 is doing? Turn 1 is setting her up for that taunt skill. And the really nice part about Mikoto is she does the taunt skill, and she prevents herself from taking an insane amount of damage with that taunt skill. So the long and the short of it here, for what we say, like a lot of these units that get single target percentage boosts, she's kind of a stall breaker that she gets the single target damage, but the percentage boost isn't going to be a huge factor in her damage. Now, once again, if you have a full team of people that have 80 to 90% damage, she'll start to fall apart a little bit. But that kind of is the risk you run, so the rest of the team can do what they do. That said, you would also, have really good supporters with her, have some counter healing with her. Not counter healing wouldn't do anything really good, but have some HP regen with her, have a good assist on her, and she'd be all right. She's really designed to take on this new class of taunt resistant units, and I like that a lot. But once again, you're talking pure 100% war games. That's it. And she's ailment for war games. So unless you really have an ailment team, probably pass, honestly. Honestly, she is 100% taunt. And she, I think, is going to be one of the better taunt units out there. The only downside is she doesn't do taunt turn 1. She has to do taunt turn 2. So you are basically having to turtle turn 1. That is what it is. So if you're up against a rush team, you're going to fall completely apart. Skill 2 is a foe's plural fast high earth magic attack with ultra encounter rate, magic boost, and taunt resistance down 40%. So the nice part is she hits you with anti-taunt or taunt resistance. So any of your anti-taunt really begins to get, kind of taken down a notch, and then she hits you with taunt as the secondary skill. So she's really designed to brute force you with that taunt. AoE damage taken plus 40% for 4 turns. Self magic plus 80%. So, like I said, everything's about that taunt. Her third skill is kind of a wash. It's Super Earth Magic Attack with high critical rate, temporary great magic boost. It's a throwaway because you're never going to use it. SA is a foe's plural Ultra Earth Magic Attack with ultra critical rate, temporary great magic boost. 4 additional actions, foe's plural Mid-Earth Magic Attack with 30% HP steal and 70% taunt. So just a slight power creep on skill 1. And once again, that's going to happen after the turn after the SA. So it's turn 4 at the earliest, probably turn 5 or 6. If you're going that far in Wargame, you're doing something wrong. I mean, I get, yes, the ailment team is designed to drag the fight out. I get that. But Familia Wargame, her SA makes her worthless. Familia Wargame, unless you're just preventing your opponents from getting points, if you're just playing a totally toxic game, preventing your opponents from obtaining points and just dragging the fight down, even though, for whatever reason you can't win. Sure, I suppose that's a tactic. It is what it is. It's a kind of a crap tactic, but at the end of the day, if you can't win, prevent your opponent from excelling, I suppose. Mikoto's a glue trap. Pretty much. 45% thunder resistance counters are earth magic attack, 35% magic endurance, agility, and dex, 30% damage on critical, 35% ailment resistance, and a material killer. Even for whatever Familia event is upcoming, even though it's going to be Familia and even though it's going to be designed for these units, I'm not enamored by these units. They're designed for one thing and one thing only. You're going to use them twice and then never use them again. So thus far, I really don't see a huge amount of value in these banners. Though I do love the art. One and done for the art might not be a terrible idea, but I wouldn't go ham on these banners. I love the art, though. The art is adorable. Sorry, she melts my heart every single time. She is so pure. All right, so 4498 HP for Winnie, 707 Endurance, 958 Dex, 1208 Agility, which makes her pretty fast, 2036 Magic Attack, which once again, she's a magic unit with a gun. So she's one of the Gammas. So interesting unit here. Now, Winnie. Skill 1 is an 88 MP costs. Foes, plural. Super Thunder Magic Attack. Super class on skill 1. With alter and counter rate self. Magic Agility, Thunder, and Thunder attack damage. So Magic Agility and Thunder attack damage. 60% for 5 turns. 4 additional actions. Foes, plural. Mid Thunder Magic Attack with alter penetration rate. Allies, penetration rate plus 40%. So she's going to make everybody just a little bit more dangerous. Basically give them a stab. Skill 2, 76 MP cost. Foes, plural. Fast. Strength, magic, agility, and magic resistance down 4 turns. What do we say about wargame units? Shorten strength, magic, agility, magic resistance buffs by 3 turns. Most of the time, those buffs are for 3 to 4 turns these days. Sometimes 5, but usually 3 to 4. So basically, if she gets that off turn 1, by turn 2, you could pretty much assume that they're gone unless you rebuff it. And the nice part about that is if you do try to rebuff those skills on turn 1, if you have it set to rebuff those, then you're just going to be in a buff cycle with her. It is a fast skill, so rebuffing him mid-turn could be effective, but she's going to wipe him out the following turn after that anyway. So it's like, it's literally just damage mitigation is really what that is. You might get it off turn 1, but you're not getting it off turn 2. Skill 3 is a 58 MP cost. Foe, singular. Super Thunder Magic Attack with Ultra Penetration Rate. Skill damage 80% per self-penetration rate buff. The downside is you don't really get a lot of penetration rate buffs with assists. Though I'd have to go back. It might be something they added recently. I'm not thinking of any off the top of my head that could use it. I could be wrong in that. So even if she gets taunted, I'd say 90% of the time, unless you really, really, really plan for it, she's only doing the 80%. She's not doing the full 160. And that's assuming she gets taunted. So basically, she would take apart anybody but Mikoto if you had a good assist on her. So that's the thing. Actually, come to think about it, I think one of the units we got, maybe... Well, no, because most of those units I don't think had taunt. I really have to go back and think about that. I have to go back and assess the anniversary units. I don't remember too many of the anniversary units being that beefy. I remember some serious tanks. I remember tanks with taunt, so I'd have to go back and look at that. Huh. Not recollecting that. So I think Mikoto still is like the best taunt in the game. So if you're looking to build an ailment team, there's your answer. Get Mikoto. Let's look at Rei real quick. Rei is an assist. And let's see here. She does... allies. Oh, first. 1032 HP, which is passable. 667 magic, which is really, really, really nice. But none of her other skills are really that crazy. Yeah, her magic stat is the only real, heavy-handed stat she's got. And we got kind of spoiled during the anniversary with you just having 2 or even 3 really nice stats. Now, here's the deal. Allies, magic plus 25% and penetration rate plus 15%. I even said with the assists we got during the anniversary that having strength plus 25% was nice, but it's just a rare skill that you're not going to use a huge amount. Oftentimes, you're going to find yourself using more defensive skills, even in Wargame. Now, there are exceptions to that. So if you need magic up, basically, if you're hitting anybody on this banner, aside from Mikoto, who's an ailment unit, if you're hitting anybody on this banner, you really got to max Rei out. That's about it. And for all the magic units going forward, Rei's going to be pretty nuts. But I still challenge the notion that in 6 months from now, she's going to be on regular rotation on any team whatsoever. Because most of the time, you're going to be, unless you're going for a quick kill. If you're going for a rush or something like that, great. But in any long-term event, if they bring double or triple ailment back to 7th zone, if they do anything of that nature, any kind of real mission, anything going on, most of the time, she's not going to be of any substantial value. And even then, most of those are whales anyway, and they're going to max her out anyway. I'm talking to the people out there that are like reeling right now going, what am I going to do with the 400 or 500 free-to-play Iris I've got? Holy crap. That's really who we're catering to with this one. All right. So that be that. Those are the new units incoming. You've got some choices to make here. I might just one and done each banner and then walk away because I really just don't see a huge amount of value in these. I'm not going to main War Game. I've even, leveled back on Wrecker Buster a little bit. Basically, unless the anniversary team can muster, a top 50 score, I'm really not going to try. I hate to say that, but it is what it is. It's a lot of effort for not a lot of reward anymore. Whereas you can auto run an anniversary team and probably get a top 500 score pretty easily if you've got a good anniversary team. Let's talk about the unit incoming for tomorrow's anime episode. Mikoto. Now, I'm saying Mikoto. Jeez, I did it again. Cassandra. Jeez, brain. What are you doing? So we're gonna get a freebie on this. Other than that, the second is the first guaranteed. 4th, 7th, and 10th are all guaranteed. She's 1080 for HP, 646 for magic. Just kind of like we said with Ray, the stats really are just kind of meh, But she does physical magic resistance down 20%, both physical and magic, which makes her a great asset. She also does self 4 instant effects when attacked. Water magic attack to that foe up to twice per turn. She gets 4 of those, which literally means she can do 2 turn 1, 2 turn 2, 1 turn 1, 2 turn 2, and 1 turn 3, or any combination thereof, or 1 every turn. She's really, anytime you see these instant effects, think War Game. She's really designed for War Game. And the physical and magic resistance is just designed to turtle behind. She has physical magic resistance plus 20%, so she's a defensive buff. Now, I think yesterday I said get one of her, but I think at the time I was thinking physical and magic resistance down. Now, she'll be a good unit, but she's a unit you hide behind, not a unit you use in any offensive manner. Even the debuff units I consider more offensive units. So I'm going to remain fairly critical of this unit. I'm going to say probably not that you want to lose your shirt on. I think there's going to be better units coming down. Physical and magic resistance minus 25% is really what I'm looking for. That would be phenomenal. Most of the time anymore, and let me just kind of justify this by saying most of the time anymore, you're going to be running the new Haruhime teams. It's just going to happen. It's going to be what it is. So you're going to get counter healing, so the physical and magic resistance will be nice, but probably not mandatory, especially if you max them up broke all the units from the anniversary. So for her, I'd say chill. Don't worry about her. I just don't think she's terribly important. So those of you that are whaling, I will say you can only whale up to once per every unit that's incoming. So if you really want them, you got to be, you got to hit the bundles and things like that. But if you want my honest opinion, I'd say chill. Don't go ham. Maybe get one and then back off. Unless it's Mikoto, then, throw some prism bonds on her or something. I just wouldn't go crazy in this banner. That's my 2 cents. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments. Like, share, and all that good stuff, and I'll catch you all in the next one.